Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Charitāmrita review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are discussing from Chaitanya Charitāmrita, Madhya Lila. We are on chapter 2nd. And so far we have discussed the various ecstatic moods of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and how he was behaving in so many different ways. And there were only two people, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. They were able to pacify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by reciting various verses from Bhagavatam and various writings of Goswamis. And that's how Mahaprabhu, he would sometimes recite many verses. So far, till verse number 76, Kaviraj Goswami has described so many verses which tells the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we heard that how in the first verse, which is from 18 to 27, the mood of pain of separation is described. And then he describes how the perfection of the senses is to hear about the Lord, to see the Lord, to have darshan of the Lord. The perfection of the legs is to go to the holy places. So that's how he is remembering, Mahaprabhu is remembering the mood of Srimati Radharani. And then so many other verses describing the mood of Srimati Radharani. So now we'll continue from verse number 77. This is the last section of this chapter. Very, very beautiful section. This is a very important section which describes the mood of Kaviraj Goswami. And in this section, Kaviraj Goswami describes Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in choicest verses. Beautiful verses are coming. And also he glorifies Chaitanya Charitāmrita. He explains the position of Chaitanya Charitāmrita. So that is a beautiful description given. So Kaviraj Goswami continues that as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is passing the days in Gambhira, in separation from Lord Krishna, he would get some solace by reading the writings of few very, very wonderful poets like Chandidas and Vidyapati. Very great Vaishnava poets. They have written so many beautiful bhajans and some compositions. He would sometimes hear to Jagannath Vallabh Natak, and he would hear Krishna Karnamrit written by Bilva Mangal Thakur. He would read Geet Govind written by Jaidev Goswami. So that's how he would spend his day and night in association of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. They were his constant associates. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed various mellows with his associates. So we have heard that last 12 years of Mahaprabhu's life, he was not meeting anyone, just few of the very intimate devotees. And Mahaprabhu, he exchanged parental affection with Paramanand Puri. He exchanged friendly affection with Ramanand Rai. And he exchanged Das Bhava, unalloyed service from Govinda and others. And he would discuss the conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna with Gadadhar Pandit, Jagdananda Pandit, uh, who is a very intimate devotee of the Lord, and Swarup Damodar Goswami. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani herself. Jagdanand Pandit is Satyabhama, and Swarup Damodar Goswami is Lalita Devi. That's how Mahaprabhu would spend his day discussing all the wonderful rasas. And then Kaviraj Goswami, just to explain and to make the readers believe that Mahaprabhu can manifest so many beautiful, unimaginable, ecstatic manifestations. We have heard how Mahaprabhu, when he was in ecstasy, his joints would be separated by 8 inches. Only flesh would be there. So all these are unimaginable ecstasies. Mahaprabhu, Kaviraj Goswami says that Bilv Mangal Thakur, who is also known as Lila Shuk, he was an ordinary human being, but he also exhibited such wonderful ecstatic emotions. So if ordinary human being like Leela Shuk can manifest such wonderful pastimes, so why it is difficult to accept that Krishna, who appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Supreme Lord himself, what is difficulty for him to manifest unimaginable ecstatic manifestations? It is not so difficult. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he describes about Leela Shuk. Who was this personality? So this Leela Shuk, he was a great Brahmana. His name was Silhana Mishra. But somehow he was attracted and attached to a prostitute. Her name was Chintamani. And every day practically he would go and be with her. One day it was raining very, very intensely. And it so happened that his father had just departed. And it was time to do his last rites. But still, this Silhana Mishra, he was having such pangs of lust at that time also, that he didn't do his last rite, father's last rites. And he left in the middle of the rains. And he wanted to cross a river to meet this prostitute, Chintamani. But it was so very heavily raining, there was no boat. No boatmen were ready to take the boat across. It was so very heavy rain. So it is said that Silhana Mishra, he swam across the river. In that flooding river, he swam across. And at one point of time, he was actually drowning. And suddenly he saw that there is a wooden raft or something is floating. He caught hold of that and he went on the other side, and then he realized it was a dead body. He was so absorbed in thoughts of Chintamani that he didn't even recognize that he's holding on to a dead body. And then he reached the home of this Chintamani, and then he's knocking on the door, and because it is so very heavily raining, she's not able to hear. So what to do? He climbs holding on to a rope. There was a rope hanging from the window. He caught hold of that rope and he climbed and entered through the window. And Chintamani, she was shocked. She said, how come you are here in this situation, in this rainy, extreme rains are there, and how did you come up? So he said, you have put a rope from your window. So she said, am I so foolish that I'll put a rope so that the thieves can enter, climb? So she went out and saw that there was a snake hanging. And this Silhana Mishra was so absorbed in thoughts of Chintamani that he didn't even realize that it was a snake. So Chintamani, when she saw this situation of Silhana Mishra, she said, the type of attachment which you have for me, for this body, material flesh, if you have same attachment for Krishna, you would have become liberated soul. That hit him. It took him so much, to make it a point that this world is not meant for sense gratification. He left everything. Ultimately, he went to Vrindavan. In between, also something happened. He became such a great devotee. On the way to Vrindavan, he got attracted to another lady. Although he was in a dress of a sadhu, and a lady passed by, and he got attracted to this lady. And he followed her, and she was a Brahmani. So she, went inside her home, and Silhana Mishra, now in the dress of a sadhu, he entered. He knocked on the door, and the husband of this lady opened the door, and he saw a Brahman, a sadhu. He offered respects and he said, "Oh sadhu, oh Brahman Dev, what can I do to serve you?" So this Silhana Mishra, he says, "I want to enjoy with your wife." So he was really bewildered. But because a sadhu is saying so, he, with a very, very difficult heart, accepted it. And he went and told her wife that, this is what the sadhu is requesting. So it is a duty of a, grahastha to satisfy the sadhus. You go and satisfy him. So this lady was really bewildered, but what to do? So as she went, this Silhana Mishra came to his senses. And as this lady approached him, he said, "Oh mother, can you give me your hair clips?" So she was really bewildered. Why he is asking for hair clips? So she gave her hair clips, and he pierced his eyes with those hair clips, and he made himself blind. Because he was thinking, because of these eyes, my eyes are so unchaste, they are not looking at Krishna, and they're looking at everything in this world. So he made himself blind, thinking that now onwards I'll not see anything of this world. I'll only see Krishna within my heart. And in that blinded condition, he went to Vrindavan. And he became such a great devotee. All of us, we have seen the beautiful picture of Bilva Mangal Thakur chanting the glories of the Lord, and Krishna as a small boy sitting and hearing. So that is the story of Bilva Mangal Thakur, Lila Shuk. And this Bilva Mangal Thakur has written this whole book called as Krishna Caritāmrta. In fact, Kaviraj Goswami, in the first canto, in the Adi Lila first chapter, while glorifying spiritual masters, he glorifies Chintamani. Bilva Mangal Thakur has glorified Chintamani. He is just quoting, Kaviraj Goswami quotes a verse from Krishna Caritāmrta, where Bilva Mangal Thakur is glorifying Chintamani. Chintamani jayati somagiri gurur me siksha guruscha bhagavan shikipicha mauli. So Chintamani is my Shiksha Guru, and Somagiri is the Diksha Guru of Bilva Mangal Thakur. And another Guru is Krishna, who is there in the heart. Siksha Guruscha Bhagavan Shikipicha Mauli. So Kaviraj Goswami tells that if Lila Shuk can manifest ecstatic symptoms, why it is difficult to understand and accept that Mahaprabhu manifested all these ecstatic symptoms? Purve braj bilase yei tina abhilashe yataneha aswadana koila Shri Radhara bhavasar apani kori angikar sei tina vastu aswadila. Kaviraj Goswami says, in the previous times in Vrindavan, Purve braj bilase, when Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, He had the desire to enjoy the three kinds of ecstasy. Ei tina abhilashe ayataneha aswadana haila. Although he tried his best, but he could not taste them. What are the three things? The three internal reasons for appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Va Nayaiva Swadyo Yenadbhut Madhurima Kidrisho Va Madhya Saukyam Chasyamadhanubhavataha Kidrisho Veti Lobhat Tadbhavadya Samajani Shachigarbha Sindhu Harindu. What is the glory of Radharani's love? Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. And Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishova Madhya Saukyam Chasya. And what is the happiness which these gopis are experiencing in serving me? And what is, beauty of my quality that everybody is attracting to me? So all these things, Krishna, he wanted to experience, he wanted to taste, but he could not. Shri Radhara Bhavasara Apani Kori Angikar. So to taste these three things, Mahaprabhu Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Who is Mahaprabhu? The most beautiful and wonderful verse comes. Apane kari ashwadane shikhaila bhaktagane prema chintamani prabhudhani. Nahi jane sthana sthan yare tare koilo dan Mahaprabhu data shiromani. Apane kari aswadane, he is himself tasting the love of God. Shikha ila bhaktagane, and is teaching the devotees. Prema chintamani prabhudhani. Mahaprabhu is the wealthy capitalist. Prema chintamani dhani. He is a wealthy capitalist possessing the love of God. And he is completely intoxicated with it. That's why they have come for Panch Tattva. Sei Pancha Tattva mili Prithvi Asiya Urve Prema Bhandare Ramudra Ughadiya Panche mili lute prema kore aswadan Yata yata piye Trishna Bade Anukshan. So all these Panchatattva, they came and they broke open the seal of love of God, and they are tasting and they are plundering and distributing to everyone. Prema Chintamani Prabhudhani Nahi Jane Sthana Sthan. He is not even considering that this place is fit and this is unfit for distributing. Nahi Jane Sthana Sthan Yare Tare Koiladan. He is not even thinking this person is qualified, this is not qualified. Mahaprabhu Data Shiromani. He is the most munificent personality. He is completely intoxicated. An intoxicated person, he doesn't know how much to give to the beggar. And if the intoxicated person is a billionaire who only has 2000 rupee notes in his pocket, if a beggar comes, so this personality is so intoxicated, he doesn't even realize that for a beggar, 1 or 2 rupees or 5-10 rupees is enough. Because he is full of only 2000 rupees, he gives 2000 rupees. Prema Chintamani Prabhudhani. So that is how Mahaprabhu is so very merciful. He is the best among the givers of charity. He is the most charitable personality. What all things he has given us? He has given us the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. He has given us hope in this hopeless situation in this material world. He has given us right type of attitude. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. He has taught us humility. He has given us right types of aspirations. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. He has given us wonderful devotees. He has given us wonderful ideals in the form of Goswamis and all the great acharyas. He has given us the chance to develop love of God. He has given us the 8 verses of Sikshashtakam, the pinnacle of all the conclusions. So Mahaprabhu is the most munificent personality. So Prabhupada writes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's capital is the touchstone of love of God. And consequently, he is a great owner of that transcendental treasure. So this love of God, it is prema ratana dhana. Prema ratana bina daridra jivan dasvakara vetan more deho prema dhan. If somebody doesn't have this vetan of love of God, he is a daridra, he is a poor beggar. Mahaprabhu has come to make beggars into billionaires. They have no qualification. Kali Yuga people, they have no qualification. We have no qualification. But still, Mahaprabhu is so merciful. Chaitanya avatare vahe premamrita banya sab jiva preme bhase prithvi hoila dhanya. Ye banya e jena bhase sei jiva char. Koti janme kabhutar nahi kanistar. Because Mahaprabhu has appeared and he has come with this river of love of God. Prema amrit vanya. And he wants to drown everyone in this river. Sabajiva preme bhase prithvi haila dhanya. The earth has become fortunate. But if somebody does not take advantage of this, he is the most unfortunate person. Mahaprabhu, he is distributing the rarest of the nectar available in this cosmic manifestation. Ei gupta bhava sindhu brahma napa eka bindu hena dhana bilaila samsare. ऐछे दयालु अवतार ऐछे दाता नाही यार गुण केह नारे वर्णि बारे. A Gupta Bhava, this love of God, nobody can understand. This confidential ocean of ecstasy, it is rarest of the rare. Brahma napa eka bindu, even Brahma cannot understand. Not even a drop of it. And what Mahaprabhu has done? Out of his causeless mercy, hena dhana bilaila samsare. He is distributing this mercy to everyone without any discrimination. Aiche dayalu avatar, such merciful avatar. Avatar sara gaura avatar. Of all the avatar, the essence of all the avatars is Gaura avatar. Aiche dayalu avatar, aiche data nahi ara guna keha nare varni bare. Nobody can count the glories of Mahaprabhu's mercy. However great one may be, nobody can find the extent to which Mahaprabhu's mercy can go. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichar Karile Chitte Pabe Chamatkar. If you want to use your logic to understand the mercy of Mahaprabhu. It is unlimited. Even Brahma, Shiva, Shesh, they cannot understand. Chaitanya Charitre Amritera Sindhu. Brahma, Shiva, Sheshayar Payan Nahi Bindu. So that is the mercy which Mahaprabhu is distributing. There is no greater donor. Aise data nahi yaar. There is a temple in Srirangam, Varadaraj, in Kanchipuram, Varadaraj. Varadaraj means best of the givers of benedictions. Mahaprabhu is the foremost of the givers of benedictions. Aiche dayalu avatar, aiche data nahi yaar, guna keha nare varni bare. And then Kaviraj Goswami continues. कही बार कथा नहे कहिले केह ना बुझे ऐछे चित्र चैतन्य रंगे सही से बुझिते पारे चैतन्य कृपा यारे हय तार दासानुदास संगे. कही बार कथा नहे. The topics of Mahaprabhu, they are so confidential. The ecstasies which Mahaprabhu has manifested in those 12 years, they are so very confidential. The mood of Srimati Radharani is so very confidential. Even the word Radha was not known to people. It is so very secret. Because Radha Bhav is not accessible for anyone. It was not there in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. That Radha Bhav Mahaprabhu has come and he has given to most fallen people the chance to understand and hear about this Radha Bhava. Therefore, kahi baar katha na hai, these topics are not worth discussing. They are not to be discussed. People, they are not ready to hear. They are not qualified to hear these pastimes. Just like one time, Srila Prabhupada, he went to one life member's home. And this lady was telling, Swamiji, please tell us about Ras Lila. And Prabhupada was trying to just avoid this topic, and he was speaking about the ISKCON and philosophy, basic philosophy of Atma and everything. And this lady was asking again and again, Swamiji, please tell us about Ras Lila. And then Prabhupada said, you may be ready, you may be qualified to hear it. I am not qualified to speak it. It is so confidential. But Mahaprabhu has given to everyone. Kahi bar katha na hai, kahile keha na bujhai. So Kaviraj Goswami says, actually these topics, they are not worth, they should not be discussed. Because even if you speak it, kahile keha na bujhai, nobody will understand it. Aiche Chitra Chaitanya Range. Nobody will believe it. What pastimes Mahaprabhu has done, what ecstatic symptoms Mahaprabhu has shown, nobody will believe it. Aiche Chitra Chaitanya Range. But who can understand? Say se bujite pare Chaitanya kripa yare. Anyone who has received the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they can understand. And when they will get mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hai Tara Dasanudasa Sange. When somebody gets association of the devotees, that's the only way to know the pastimes, to understand, at least begin understanding the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Athapi te deva padambuja tvaya prasadaleshanugrihita eva hi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya eko pichiram vichinvan. Anyone who has got the drop of the mercy of Lord, he can understand the pastimes of the Lord. Prasad lesh anugrihita evahi. The drop of the mercy of the Lord, if somebody receives, he can understand. Na chanya eko pichiram vichinvan. Otherwise, if somebody tries for many, many lifetimes, he will not understand. How to get the mercy of the Lord? There's only one way. Mercy of the Lord comes through mercy of the devotees. And when we get mercy of the Lord, the next thing which comes is service to the devotees. This is a equation. The mercy of the devotees leads to mercy of the Lord, and mercy of the Lord leads to service to devotees. So Prabhupada writes, an ordinary person cannot understand the ecstatic emotions of Srimati Radharani. And therefore, unfit people, they just pervert all the teachings and they start so many apasampradayas like Aula Baula, Sakhi Beki, Gauranga Nagri, all these Sahajiyas. Prabhupada writes, even learned scholars in the academic field, they cannot understand the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, there are so many people who have done PhD in Chaitanya Charitāmrta, but at the same time, they may be smoking, drinking, breaking all the four regulative principles. So academic study cannot help one to understand Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One can memorize everything. One can analyze everything. But unless one serves the devotees of the Lord, one will not get the mercy of the Lord. Durapa hialpa tapsa seva vaikuncha vartmasu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardana. Unless one serves the devotee of the Lord, it is so very rare to get mercy. It is impossible. And service to the devotees, it's itself very rare. It is not so easy to get mercy and service of devotees. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, one must be fit to understand the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And unless one gets mercy of the devotees, they can never understand. After describing the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, now from 84th verse onwards, 84 to 88, he describes the parampara, the contents and the benefits of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, why I am writing this? What is the content of this book? Beautiful description, very choicest verses are coming in this section. Chaitanya lila ratnasar swarupera bhandar teho thoila raghunathera kanthe taha kichu eshnilu taha iha vistarilu bhakta gana dilu ei bhete. Chaitanya lila is ratnasar. It is like topmost of the jewels, Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Swarupera Bhandar, and this jewel was kept in the treasure house of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Because it was Swarup Damodar Goswami who witnessed all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And he had written down everything in his karcha, in his diary. And when Raghunath Das Goswami was serving him, assisting Swarup Damodar Goswami in service of Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Goswami told everything to Raghunath Das Goswami. Teho thoila Raghunathera kanthe, and this was kept in the throat of Raghunath Das Goswami. Taha kichu eshinilu, taha iha vistarilu. So after Mahaprabhu left, then Nityanand Prabhu left. Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to commit suicide. He wanted to go to Vrindavan and commit suicide, jumping from Govardhan. But Mahaprabhu said, please, he came in the dream and said, don't commit suicide. Go to Vrindavan and be with Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. And when he met Rup Sanatan Goswami, they gave him such love, such care. And they told him that you have witnessed the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. You have heard the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So it is your service to the Vaishnava community here. Please speak the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So Raghunath Das Goswami was staying in Radhakund, and there every evening he would speak the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And in that assembly, Kaviraj Goswami was also there, and he would hear every day. Taha kichu eshinulu, taha iha vistarilu. So he's saying, whatever little I have heard, I have described this in this book. This is a gift which I am giving to the devotee community. Bhakta Gana Dilu Ei Bhete. So we have to understand this Chaitanya Charitamrita is a gift which Kaviraj Goswami is giving to all of us. And to give this gift, it was not so easy for him. He had to really struggle hard because he was really old. He was more than 90 years old. But still, as a service to the devotee community, he was ready to go through all the pains to give this gift. Because he knew for a devotee, the pastimes of the Lord is the only treasure which a devotee has. Otherwise, whatever else is there in this world, it is all decoration of a dead body. Only the pastimes of the Lord, they enliven this world. They animate this world. They purify this world. Yasya khilami vahabi sumangalai vacho vimishra gunakarma janmabhi prananti shumbanti punanti vai jagat yastad virakta savashavashobhanamati. Akhil amiv habi, all the sins they get purified and auspiciousness is created. Sumangalai, when Vacho Vimishra, when one speaks the word which are mixed with guna, karma, janma of the Lord. What is the result of that? Prananti Shumbhanti Punanti Vai Jagat. It gives life. Prana deti hai. Punanti, it purifies the world. Punanti, it enlivens the world. Otherwise, whatever else is there, it is a decoration. Shava Shobhanamati. So therefore, for a devotee, we should make these things as our life and soul. This is the gift which our acharyas have given. They have gone through so much of pain to give us this Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is not easily available. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to struggle for, some people say, 3-4 years to get one bona fide copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And our fortune is, it is available so very easily at the tip of our fingers. Online soft copies are there, hard copies there. But unfortunate thing is, Maya Devi doesn't allow us to study. Our mind doesn't allow us to study. Only problem is our mind. If we are really eager and sincere, we will get time. We will find time. Krishna will give intelligence. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi. Krishna will give intelligence. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Bhakta Gana Dilu Ei Bhete, I am giving this gift to the devotee community. And then, when Kaviraj Goswami was writing, although this service was given by Brajvasis, but as he started writing, some devotees, they started giving some feedback. Some were saying, you have written so many verses of Sanskrit. Who will understand? How an ordinary person will understand? So Kaviraj Goswami is writing that also here. यदि के हे न कहे ग्रंथ कैला श्लोकमय इतर जन नारी बेबुजिते प्रभु रे या चरण से करी वर्णन सर्व चित्ते नारी आराधिते. So he's saying, if someone says that Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of Sanskrit verses, यदि के हे न कहे ग्रंथ कैला श्लोक में कितना श्लोक लिख दिया आपने इसमें, अरे इतर जन, how ordinary people will understand? So he says, what can I do? I have just described the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Prabhure acharana sei kari varnana. I cannot satisfy everyone. So even at that time, some people were commenting, क्या इतना सारा लिख दिया आप श्लोक, So seva is given by Brajvasis and then they're giving feedback also. So it is natural to get feedback in any service. When first the Vaishnavas will give service and then they'll give feedback. बोले ऐसा कर रहे हो, वैसा कर रहे हो, ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो? So Kaviraj Goswami is also getting feedbacks. Prabhupada writes, Kaviraj Goswami and the one who follows in his footsteps do not have to cater to the public. Prabhupada never ever compromised in regulative principles. Many people were coming and telling, Swamiji, you just reduce one of these 4 regulative principles, that's all. Prabhupada never compromised. Prabhupada says, their business is simply to satisfy previous acharyas. That is what we are supposed to do. So that is the understanding. Only a devotee can understand the pastimes of the Lord. And a devotee should be very, very careful not to mix anything in the philosophy. Nahi kaha savirod, nahi kaha anurod, sahaj vastu kari varnan. यदि होए रागोद्देश ताहा होए आवेश सहज वस्तु न याय लिखन. He continues, in this Chaitanya Charitamrita, nahi kaha savirod, there is no contradictory conclusion. Nahi kaha anurod, and I have not accepted anyone's opinion. ऐसा नहीं कि I like this Brajvasi, so whatever he says I'll put in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. No, I have given very crystal clear conclusions in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we have heard this, read this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. First 7 chapters of Adi Lila, they are so very perfect philosophy. Nahi kaha savirod, nahi kaha anurod, sahaj vastu kari varnan. I have written this book, in a very, very simple way. Whatever I have heard from superiors, I have written it in the same way. But if somebody becomes angry, then what can I do? यदि कोई राग हो, किसी को राग हो रहा है, तो what can I do? If somebody says, I don't like this, I like this, I will not be able to describe the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in a very, very proper way. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami is very firm. In any service, we have to be firm and we have to stick to the words of acharyas. We have to stick to the words of the authorities. Because many people will give many suggestions. Oh, you should do like this, you should do like that. But we have to stick to the authorities who gave us the service. And we don't have to add anything on our own, and we don't have to add anything which others say. And then he says, please continue reading the pastimes of Mahaprabhu with patience. So he says, Prabhupada writes that, whatever is awakened by attachment to one's predecessor is the way of devotional service as indicated by Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitāmrta and the actual facts are understood by real devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of Lord Chaitanya. Mundane scholarship and its concomitant attachments and detachments cannot arouse love of God. And then some devotees may say, I'm not able to understand. It's so very difficult. Kaviraj Goswami says, be patient. Please continue reading. ये बा नहीं बुझे केहा सुनीते सुनीते सेहा कि अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित कृष्ण उपजी बेप्रीति जानी बेरसेर रीति सुनी लई बड़ा होए हित. Even if you don't understand anything, ये बा नहीं बुझे केहा, please continue hearing again and again. Shunite Shunite Seha Ki Adbhuta Chaitanya Charita. Pastimes of Mahaprabhu, they are so very wonderful. What will happen? If you hear it regularly, repeatedly, Krishna Upaji Bepriti, you will develop love for Krishna. Jani Berasera Riti, you will understand the affairs of Krishna and Brajavasis. Shuni Lei Bada Hoy Hita. Please hear, even if you don't understand, even if you think it is so very beyond my head, still read it. Shuni lai bada hoy hita. Please continue reading even if you don't understand anything. Keep on reading. Someone may say, why Kaviraj Goswami, has introduced lots of Sanskrit verses in this? Kaviraj Goswami defends this. He says, Bhagavatam is full in Sanskrit, written in Sanskrit. Still people are understanding or not. And the commentaries of Bhagavatam, they are also in Sanskrit. Still people are understanding. The whole world is understanding. And I have written few verses of Sanskrit, and that too I have given translation in Bengali. If you read Chaitanya Charitāmrta, wherever Prabhupada quotes, Kaviraj Goswami quotes Sanskrit verse from Bhagavatam, he gives a Bengali transliteration. So he says, why nobody will understand? What is the problem? भागवत श्लोकमय टीका तार संस्कृत होए तबु कैछे बुझे त्रिभुवन इहा श्लोक दुई चारी तार व्याख्या भाषा करी कैछे ना बुझिबे सर्वजन. So Kaviraj Goswami is really amazingly describing. दो चार श्लोक लिखे हैं संस्कृत में और उसका भाषा में व्याख्या भी किया है. Why people will not understand? So that's how, it seems that he was really getting disturbed by the feedbacks of people. They were telling again and again, why you have written so many Sanskrit verses? So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami, he is such a wonderful personality, such a simple, humble personality. First of all, he has avoided anything which is written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Such humble. Anything which is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Kaviraj Goswami is just touched upon those topics, those pastimes. And he says, he describes the glories of Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Manushya rachite nare aiche grantha dhanya Vrindavan Das mukhe vakta Shri Chaitanya. Vrindavan Das, actually Krishna is speaking through the mouth of Vrindavan Das. Krishna Lila Bhagavate kahe Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lila Ravyas Vrindavan Das. Just like Ved Vyas is the author of Bhagavatam, Vrindavan Das is the Vyas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So therefore, he's clarifying that I am just writing whatever Mahaprabhu has done, and I am writing few Sanskrit verses, and that too I am giving Bengali translation. What is the problem? And then from 89th verse onwards, he gives a synopsis. He gives a reason why he is giving the synopsis of Madhya Lila and Antya Lila. तो क्या जरूरत है मध्य लीला अंत्य लीला का सिनॉप्सिस? व्हाई? शेष लीला सूत्रगण करी किच्छु विवरण यहाँ विस्तारित चित्त होय थाके यदि आयुशेष विस्तारित लीला शेष यदि महाप्रभुर कृपा होय. So he says शेष लीला, all the Madhya Lila and Antya Lila, they are called as शेष लीला. शेष लीला सूत्रगण कैलू किच्छु विवरण. I have given synopsis of all this. And I want to describe, I want to write in detail. Iha vistarite chitta hoy. But the problem is I'm so old, I may die anytime. Thake yadi ayushesh. If I live, if I remain longer, I will write. Vistari balila shesh yadi Mahaprabhu kripa hoy. If Mahaprabhu shows mercy, and if I continue to live, then I'll write in detail. So Kaviraj Goswami is not thinking, Abhito, anyways, I'm about to die. Why to start only? We have to begin our, whatever service is given to us, we have to begin with whatever strength we have, whatever faith we have, and seeing our sincere endeavor, seeing our serious, repetitive, regular, consistent efforts, Krishna will give more strength. So the resources are important, but more than the resources, desire is important, So desire is the most important thing. If we have desire to serve, for sure Krishna will give mercy. He will give strength. So therefore he's saying, I have the desire to write more. If Krishna willing, if Mahaprabhu desires, I will write. Because my condition is so weak. Such I can die anytime. Ami vriddha jaratur likhite ka paekar mane kichu smarane na hoye. Na dekhiye nayane na shuniye shravane tabu likhiye bada vismay. So he's saying, I am so old with the jaratur, I am disturbed by invalidity. मने किच्छु स्मरणे ना होए, I am not able to remember anything. अरे कुछ नहीं याद आ रहा है तो इतना लिख दिए. हामी वृद्ध जरातुर लिखिते कांपे कर. My hands are trembling. I cannot remember anything. I cannot see anything. ना देखिए नयने, ना सुनिए श्रवणे. I cannot hear anything. Still I am writing. तबु लिखी. If Krishna wants that this devotee should do this service, he can empower him in whatever condition he may be. Material conditions is not a limitation if there is a desire to serve. And Kaviraj Goswami is a living example, a vibrant example of this fact. Only you need is desire to serve. Na dekhiye nayane, na shuniye shravane, still he is writing. So therefore, if we are dependent on the Lord, what is a difficult thing for the Lord to do? If the Lord wants, a devotee can do unimaginable things. नैवं विदं पुरुषकार उरुक्रमस्य पुंसां षडङ्ग्रिरजसाजित षड्गुणानां चित्रं विदूर विगत सकृदादतीत यन्नामधेयमधुना स जहाति बन्धम्. What is astonishing for a devotee of the Lord to do? Because names of the Lord can take one across the ocean of material existence. What to speak of if the Lord is there in the heart of the devotee? What he cannot do? He can do anything. So therefore, although Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am so fallen, Murkh, Neech, Shudra, Ami, Vishaya Lalas, Vaishnavagya Bale Kare Etika Sahas. I am fallen, I am fool, I am attached to sense gratification. But because devotees have given me order, I am doing this. I am daring to do this service. Otherwise, who am I? I am so very fallen. And then he continues, he says, if I live longer, I will write more. Ei ante lila sar sutra madhya visatar iha vistarite chit kari kichu karilu vivaran iha madhya mari jabe varnite na pari tabe ei lila bhakta ganadhan. He says, Ei ante lila. Now I'm writing. Why I'm writing this ante lila synopsis here? Ei ante lila sar sutra madhya vistar kari kuchu kailu. Thoda chota kuch likh diye. Why? If I die in between, यह मध्य मरी जावे, इसमें बीच में मर गया, I will not be able to describe this pastime. This description is the dhan for the devotees. Ei lila bhakta gana dhan. So can you imagine Kaviraj Goswami 500 years back is thinking about all of us. बोले मैं मर जाऊंगा, नहीं लिखूंगा. How devotees will read, how they will understand who was Mahaprabhu, what all he did. Ei lila bhakta gana dhan. This is dhan for devotees. Therefore, I have to write. I'll write synopsis now. That's why Srila Prabhupada wrote Krishna book, right? He was not sure whether he'll live for all the 12 cantos. He gave the synopsis, summary study of 10th canto as Krishna book. संक्षेपे सूत्र कैला इहा ना लिखिला आगे ताहा करी भविस्तार यदि तत्दिन जिए महाप्रभुर कृपा होए इच्छा भरी करी भविचार. Sankshep में सूत्र I have written now in brief. Whatever I have not written here, I'll write in future if I live. Yadi tattadin jiye. If I live, I can fulfill the desire of devotees and I can fulfill my desires. Yadi tattadin jiye Mahaprabhura kripa hoye. Ichha bhar ke likhunga main. I want to write, So he's saying this is my desire to write. But kya kare? I don't know how much time I have. So therefore I am writing in synopsis, in brief. And then another beautiful verse he's writing. Now he's offering obeisances to each and every devotee, and he offers obeisances to the Lord. Not just pure devotees, any devotee. Chota bada bhaktagan bando sabha sri charan sabe more koro hasantosh. Shri Rupa Gosai Mata Rupa Raghunath Jani Yata Tai Likhi Nahi Mora Dosh. Chota Bhaktagan, Bada Bhaktagan. Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are 3 levels of devotees. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, Bhajana Vigya, expert in devotional service. Bhajana Shila, devotees engaged in devotional service. And Krishna Nama Dikshit, Krishna Nama Kari, initiated devotees who are just chanting. Kaviraj Goswami begs mercy of everyone. Bhajana Vigya also, Bhajana Shila also, and Krishna Nama Dikshit, Krishna Nama Kari. They're neophyte devotees basically. So who are these neophyte devotees? Saraswati Thakur writes that they are expert in arguing. They have no sense of devotional service. They think I am such a great devotee, I am worshipping the deities. Kaviraj Goswami is asking blessings of each and every one. He is not thinking, "Ye to abhi devotee bana hai. He is a neophyte devotee. He is the Kanishta Adhikari. Uska kya blessing lene ka zarurat hai?" asking blessing from everyone. Chota bada bhaktagana bando sabha Shri Charan. Sabe mora kora hasantosh. Please be satisfied with me. Please give mercy. Shri Rupa Gosaiyata. Swarupa Gosai Mata Rupa Raghunatha Janiyata. I am faultless. I am writing whatever, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, they have told me. What is my fault? And then he takes the dust of the devotees and dust of the Lord's feet on his head. Shri Caitanya Nityananda Advaitadi Bhakta Vrinda Shire Dhari Savara Charan Swarupa Rupa Sanatara Raghunathera Shri Charana Dhuli Karu Mastake Bhushan. All the devotees of the Lord, he is taking their dust, feet of their dust on his head. That is the mood of the author of PhD literature. So that is the mood a follower of Gaudiya Sampradaya should also have. One should never feel that I am a great devotee. I don't need blessings of small devotees. Every blessing is important. Everyone, every small devotee, Chota Bhaktagan, Bada Bhaktagan, Sabe More Karaha Santosh. Please be satisfied with me. The last is again beautiful verse. Mahaprabhu Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am just describing a drop of the wave of the ocean of the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. He says, Payyayara Agyadhan Brajera Vaishnavagan Bando Tara Mukhya Haridas Caitanya Vilas Sindhu Kallo Lera Eka Bindu Tara Kana Kahe Krishnadas. Again he is saying, it is the dhan which I have received. The service is a wealth. Payyayara Agyadhan Brajera Vaishnavagan, and the best of the devotees is Haridas. He was the head priest of Govinda Dev temple. Payyayara Agyadhan Brajera Vaishnavagan Bando Tara Mukhya Haridas. And the foremost of the devotee is Haridas Pandit. And Kaviraj Goswami describes in Adi Lila the glories of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Pandit, not Haridas Thakur. सुशील सहिष्णु शांत वदान्य गंभीर मधुर वचन मधुर चेष्टा महाधीर समार सम्मान करता करे न समारहित कौटिल्य मात्सर्य हिंसा ना जाने तारचित. He was the reservoir of all the wonderful qualities. वैष्णव गुणग्राही ना देखाए दोष काय मनो वाक्य करे वैष्णव संतोष. He was not seeing faults in anyone. So Kaviraj Goswami is taking blessings from each and every devotee headed by Haridas Thakur, Haridas Pandit. And what is Chaitanya Charitāmrita? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes is like ocean. Out of that, he is giving one. Out of that, there are hundreds and thousands of waves. He is just taking one wave. From that one wave, one drop. From that one drop, one particle he is describing in Chaitanya Charitāmrita. Caitanya Vilas Sindhu. And in that Kallolera Eka Bindu Tarakana. So that is what Mahaprabhu's pastimes are. They are unlimited. Even Ananta Shesh cannot describe. Brahma, Shiva cannot describe. So that is the glory of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. That's how this chapter ends. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai.